You've just finished a simple conversation. Maybe you were explaining why you were 5 minutes late or why you couldn't take on an extra project at work. But as you walk away, your mind begins to replay the tape. You realize that what should have been a 2-sentence answer turned into a 10-minute monologue. You provided details no one asked for, justified decisions that didn't need defending, and essentially put yourself on trial for a crime you didn't commit. If you are a chronic over-explainer, you likely feel a mix of exhaustion and embarrassment. But psychology suggests that this isn't just a talkative personality trait. It is a complex defensive mechanism known as trauma-informed justification. While the world might see you as thorough, internally you are likely fighting a battle with a deep-seated fear of being misunderstood or punished. Today, we're going to dive into the hidden mechanics of the over-explaining brain to understand why you feel the need to fill the silence and how to finally trust that your words are enough. The hyper-vigilance loop. The first reason involves a state of hyper-vigilance. For many over-explainers, this habit was born in an environment where the truth wasn't enough to keep them safe. If you grew up around unpredictable or highly critical people, you learned that any ambiguity could be used against you. Your brain developed a safety loop. You provide excessive detail because you are trying to anticipate every possible question, every potential accusation, and every point of confusion before the other person can react. You aren't just talking, you are building a fortress of words to protect yourself from an attack that your brain perceives as inevitable. In psychology, this is a form of preemptive strike communication. You are solving a conflict that hasn't even happened yet. The transparency paradox. The second reason lies in a phenomenon called the transparency paradox. Ironically, the more you try to be perfectly clear, the more suspicious or insecure you may appear to others. There is a psychological concept known as the illusion of transparency, where we overestimate how much others can see our internal state. Because you feel guilty or anxious inside, you assume the other person can smell it. To hide this perceived flaw, you over-explain to prove your innocence or your competence. But because you are providing so much data, the other person's brain has to work harder to filter the information, which often leads to the very misunderstanding you were trying to avoid. Your intelligence is trying to create a bridge, but your anxiety is creating a wall of noise. The need for external validation. Third, we have the validation vacuum. Over-explaining is often a symptom of a lack of internal permission. When you make a choice, like saying no to an invitation, you don't feel that your choice is valid until someone else agrees with your reasoning. In psychology, you are handing the judge's gavel to the other person. By over-explaining, you are essentially saying, "Here is all my evidence. Please tell me I'm allowed to feel this way." This is linked to a low sense of self-agency. You over-explain because you don't yet believe that your needs, your boundaries, or your time are valuable enough to exist without a detailed justification. You are looking for a not guilty verdict in every casual interaction. The reframing. Conclusion. Reclaiming your voice requires a difficult reframe. You must realize that silence is not a void to be filled. It is a boundary to be respected. In clinical psychology, we teach the period rule. It's the practice of stating your truth and ending the sentence with a mental period rather than a comma. I can't make it. Period. I'm not comfortable with that. Period. The people who truly respect you don't need a mountain of evidence to believe you, and the people who do demand an explanation are usually the ones who are looking for a way to dismantle your boundary. The next time you feel the verbal diarrhea starting to rise, take a breath and ask yourself, Am I explaining to inform, or am I explaining to be safe? Do you find yourself over-explaining to your boss, your partner, or even total strangers? Let's discuss why we feel the need to defend our existence in the comments. If this resonated with you, join our community as we continue to decode the hidden mechanics of human behavior. Your peace is worth the effort.